Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Audrey Bell Kearney, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm going to be bringing to the stage in a few minutes our DA, Mrs. Patsy Austin-Gatson. She is the district attorney here for Gwinnett County, and I'm happy. I'm happy because this is the first time we're going to be doing this. This is the DA Review, which is a podcast and video show from the office of the DA. And Mrs. Gatson is going to be kicking it off today. We're going to be talking about what has been done in the last 10 months, because tomorrow is October the 1st. We're in 10 months since she's taken office. And also what you guys can look forward to with this podcast, which is twice a month, where you will not only talk to the DA herself, but you'll also get a chance to hear from her team that she works with. She works with a huge team, and she's going to talk about the departments that she oversees at the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office, as well as some of the duties of the people that work for her and work with her. And so I'm going to bring it in right now. I'm excited about this. So you are listening to and watching the DA Review. So let's bring DA Gatson in.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Audrey, for having me. And I'm so excited about us doing this DA Review for the community.
Thank you. So I know, DA, you it's been almost 10 months, and I know you've been busy. Can you kind of just tell people a little bit about what your office, what is some of the duties that your office have to carry out, and the people that you oversee for the office? Because I think we know we voted for you, but we don't really know what all you do over there.
Well, I'm trying to keep the county safe. We do prosecute all felony cases in this office, and that would mean any type of crime that would call for 12 months or more of incarceration. So that is what we do here. We make sure we prosecute the crimes here in Gwinnett County. Our office covers the entire county for any infraction that happens here. That is one of our main duties. We also prosecute those cases over 11 court divisions in Gwinnett County. We also have some specialized units in our office. We have the Special Victims Unit. We have the Drug and Gang Task Force Unit, and they also operate over the 11 districts. We do have teams assigned to each judge. So we work really hard to look at the cases, to prosecute the cases, and we do get some very bad cases, of course, because they are felonies. So we're talking about murders, we're talking about kidnapping, we're talking about trafficking of drugs, and the list does go on. But our main objective is to try to get these cases tried and dealt with in a timely fashion. And we're working on that now diligently. We're cleaning up old cases that was caused by the pandemic, that build up in any old cases that existed prior to me coming to office. So we are working very diligently on those cases to bring them to an end, because that's one of the important things, that we seek justice and we do it in a timely fashion. Because we've all heard the old adage, justice delayed is justice denied. So we work hard not to be that. We also have to work on getting things right. My office is not merely just about convictions, but it's about doing the right thing in our community. And sometimes that means we have to step back and take a look at whether there's a conviction integrity issue that we need to look back on, or whether there's been an excessive sentence that we need to look back on. And also we follow the law. We have a new law on the books that helps people that are on probation get early termination. So we make sure that those things go into practice. With criminal justice reform, we all are quite aware of mass incarceration and how that impacts our community. So we are working hard to do things that will help the community. For example, we also will be working on prevention of crime. And that means sometimes getting to our children well in advance before they come into the court system. And a lot of people would say, what does a DA have to do with that? I think it's an integral part of this office is for prevention. If we can work on prevention, then we will all live better.
I know that you have a huge amount of people that you oversee. What are some of the departments that how many people do you actually oversee under the DA's office on your
Right
team?
now, it's about 150 some odd people, about 150. And that
So there.
includes not just lawyers, that includes, our ADAs, our deputy chiefs, our victim witness advocates, our legal associates, our investigators, and those folks, my chief investigator, my deputy chief investigator. And, we have a whole cadre of people to help keep the county safe.
How has it been with the pandemic? Because you took office at the height of the pandemic. How has it been like keeping the team together and keeping everything rolling during the height of the pandemic?
Well, of course, it's a challenge, but I think all of us have been challenged in this year of a worldwide pandemic. We are all challenged, but we just try to keep our nose to the grindstone and just try to keep pushing it out. We started back with jury trials on April 19th. So we have been pushing those through ever since, and just trying to stay safe. We have had a few folks in the office come down with COVID, so that involves several leaves of absences because of that, and also sheltering with those folks that had been around them. And it's just hard, and I don't think it's easy for anybody right now. We're just hoping we get through this pandemic soon.
So I know it's still very scary. Even though you've been vaccinated, you still have to be careful about.
Yes.
I know I get my hands slapped quite often because I walk without that mask on. So, um, and I have to remember. Oh, I forgot my mask. So I know that one of the things you said was very important to you was staying connected to the community. That's why we're doing the DA review. It took us a minute to try to figure out what the title of the podcast would be, but that was important to you. Why was it important for you to stay connected to the community? Because now you won. A lot of times people win, we don't see them again. But you said no. You told us you were going to stay connected. So that's what you want to do. Why was that important to you?
Well, we've already had, when I was sworn in, let's start back then. That was in December of 2020. And right immediately we had a community meeting. We had a town hall right there. And then we had another follow-up town hall a couple of months ago. And that's what I want to do. I want to be accessible to the community, because that's the only way you find out what issues are out there. For example, we did speak with our Asian community, and there were some issues with at-home gambling and other things like that, that once we let the community know that we will be looking at that, a lot of things stopped. So I think just by having involvement, automatically that does help the community know that certain things, we should not be doing. And a lot of times it has stopped. We also want to be a resource to the community, because not everything is perfect all the time. And if someone needs help, I want them to do that, call out for help. And if we can't do it, if we're not the right agency, we'll point them in the right direction. Because we do have to think about, as I said earlier, prevention. Prevention of crime is very important, because we know that if we don't do something preventatively, we'll be facing it on the other end.
Speaking of prevention, what are some of your initiatives that you have in place right now to address that, to make sure that let's get them before they get in the pipeline? What are some of the initiatives that you're working with or has launched since you've been in office?
Well, I think what we're doing, first, let me start with our first priority, of course, is to prosecute cases. And once we do that, there may be people that are being prosecuted that do deserve a second chance. So we have instituted in our juvenile court a program called Riser, and those people that go into that program get counseling, mentorship, and things like that. And if they succeed through that program, then their charges are dismissed. So we have that's already up and going. We are still preparing to launch our RED program, and that means Rehabilitation Enables Dreams, and that's for 17 to 28-year-olds. We do have a page up. If you just, someone would just Google Gwinnett RED, R-E-D, then a page will come up that will talk a little bit about that program. And we are trying to get at least 25 participants in that program, and that will be happening this year. So we are working very hard. I'm very concerned, though, about our juveniles, our youth. And we are beginning an initiative, a collaboration with the community to see how we can go into the community and make sure that kids know what the results could be if they violate the law, so that we can steer them away from that. So we are beginning an initiative just to start collaborating with the community to see where we can plug in and deter some children from going into issues of crime, because we're seeing more and more and more of that. Young people are dying. And as a community, we have to step in and make sure we do something.
You know, I was reading in, I think it was Atlanta, the AJC on Monday or Tuesday, where they were saying that they don't have enough law enforcement on the streets right now to even handle a lot of the crime that has come about since the pandemic. Is that a case we face here in Gwinnett County, or is it just overall, it's just crime it has exploded overall because of the pandemic? Not that we have a lack of law enforcement on the street, or do we have a lack of law enforcement?
Well, I can't really speak totally to that issue, but I do know that law enforcement, they are always looking for recruits. And they're not just hiring any warm body that walks in. They have a certain standard, because we want to make sure, and they want to make sure, that police officers are responsible, that they're accountable, and that they're not causing more problems than they can deal with. But that is an issue. We do want more community policing, where the officers get to know the people in the areas that they are policing, because I feel that that's very important, that the officers are aware of who's in their community. And as far as the crime is concerned, I'm seeing so much gun violence. There's so much gun violence. Everyone does not need a gun. You may have a right to have one, but you don't need it. Everybody does not need a weapon. And these things are happening where we're seeing even some accidental shootings where somebody's lost their life because someone can't really handle a gun and it goes off. So, I think we have to, as a community, make some choices. Everything is not for everybody. So I think that's one thing we really need to think about, is the gun laws and how those are applied. If you have somebody in your family that has a weapon, and you know that things have been happening with them, with their mental health and things like that, please reach out so that no one gets hurt. And I think that's really important, that we look at how that's happening.
All right, let's shift gears for a second. So you came into office in 2021. What have been some of the challenges that you faced, and how have you overcome those challenges since you've been in office?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, there are tons of administrative things that I have to do, and we are practically fully filled all of our spaces that we have for employees. That includes attorneys, legals, investigators. It seems like we're hiring all the time, but that's about to slow down, which I'm very happy about. So we are, that is a big part of what we have to do, to make sure that people are in the courtroom to try the cases, that they are ready. So those things, have to be done. So we have to really make a decision on how we deal with everything. And it's like I told people when I was running, I just feel that everything is interconnected, and that nobody can really sit back on their haunches and do nothing. Get involved with your community, mentor a young person. These are things that you can do easily. If you're retired and you're coming out of a field, train somebody, teach somebody how to do that. If we make Gwinnett better just by touching one or two lives, and those people touch one or two lives, before you know it, we'll be the Mecca.
Yeah. There's a comment in the comment section, and I'll pop it up on the screen, and maybe you can address this. So there's a lot of human sex trafficking
Mhm.
happening on Satellite Boulevard. So is there a plan to counter to handle that, to do something about that?
Well, I do know that our police forces, including sheriff's department, they have special units set up for that. They have been making a lot of bus when it comes to that, and we are very mindful of it. There's a new law coming out, even with people that have been human trafficked. Sometimes they'll even get arrested. So we're working on laws that will help them clear their record so that they can then proceed and have a bright future. But yes, human trafficking is very critical. I think it's probably way up there with drug issues and trafficking drugs. It's just way up there. And it's unfortunate. A lot of our young people fall into that. And once again, the community has to play a part in looking at warning signs, looking at that and understanding that there is help out there for people that find themselves in that situation. So if there's anything that someone sees, please report it, because we can't do anything unless we know that it is happening. Please report it.
I heard, I don't know, was this Gwinnett County, but I did hear that pretty soon you'll be able to text a 911 call. And I thought that was like, I'm a tech junkie. So I was like, that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
That you can text 911. So I hope that that's something we're going to be getting here in Gwinnett County, if that's not us already, because I know we're on the cutting edge of a lot of things here in Gwinnett County, which makes me very proud. Um, I don't want to keep you too long, but I do just want to give you the opportunity to tell people. I know that the next person you're going to see from the DA's office is going to be Daryl Mans. Can you just tell people a little about who Daryl is and what he do in your office? Because in 2 weeks you'll hear him. He'll be here talking instead of the DA. We can't keep her all the time. She's busy, but she has a great team around her who have said, you know what, I'm going to step up and fill in the gaps and share the information from the office as well. So Daryl is going to be up next. Can you tell people a little bit about who he is and what he does in your office?
Well, Daryl Manns is my chief assistant, and basically he's number two here. So basically, we run everything by each other. We let one another know when there are issues or problems, and folks go to him as readily as they come to me. So he is very high up there in assisting with running this office and making sure that we stay on track and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
All right, so Dallas is going to be here in 2 weeks, guys. On Thursday, this forum is going to happen every 2 weeks, and you're going to get a chance to either talk to Madam Dia herself or one of her team going to come here. They're going to talk about what they're doing, some of the things that they have accomplished. If you had to say there's something that you have been super proud of over the last 10 months, what would one thing be that you have accomplished over the last 10 months?
I think that's a hard one because we've done so much. One thing I'm really happy about is that we did the first implicit bias training in my office for everybody in the office. I think that's real important because one thing that I stand on is being respectful, being kind to people, and understanding whatever space that they're in, we are to reach out and be better. So, and it's like they say, it's like President Biden says, let's build back better. And that's what we want to do. We just want to make things better for people. When they interact with us, we have a great victim witness team. Uzma Khan is the director over that. And everybody's very receptive to what's going on with the victims and what they're going through. So we will walk hand in hand with them through the system. So I'm really proud of my team. I have 3 deputy chiefs now. I have Brandon Delfont, I have Sabrina Nassam, and Wanda Vance. Those are my deputy chiefs. And as far as my investigators are concerned, my chief investigator is Adam Gardner. His deputy chief is Curtis Clemens. So I am blessed with a wonderful team. So thank you.
She really is, guys. Like, she is blessed with a great team of people who surround her and make sure she's okay and well taken care of. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be a part of making sure that our community is informed about the things that you are doing over there with your team and all the great work and you're doing to keep us safe. here in Gwinnett County. And so I don't want to keep you much longer. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Darryl Mans. And then the Madam DA, when she has some time, she'll come back as well. We're going to be doing a town hall too, right? And that's in January.
Right. I think we'll be planning our next in-person town hall. Hopefully, if we don't have the huge issues with COVID, maybe we can just take a turn there and welcome everyone just to come in and speak with us.
All right. Well, thanks again, Madam DA. You have a wonderful day, and I'll make sure that this is on all the platforms so our community know that you and your team are working very hard to keep us safe.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.